Hello and welcome. So the purpose of this class is to just give you kind of like a smorgasbord of different somatic exercises that you can do either in the order that I present with them today. You can also do these individually. So if there's an exercise we do that you really like, feel free to take that into your day-to-day practice and just do it for 2 to 3 minutes to start or end your day. All right, so to get started, we are just going to come to a standing position. I like to stand with my feet a little bit wider than my hips just to provide myself with a sense of stability. And I'm going to just rock forward and back a little bit just so I can start to feel the ground beneath me. And I'm going to go ahead and soften my arms toward my sides, and I'm going to close my eyes right now. If that doesn't feel great in your body, you can just kind of soften your gaze on a horizon line in front of you. Or you can find a pleasant object in the space that you're in, just to kind of hold your gaze there. Maybe it's a flower, maybe it's a painting, maybe it's just an object that you hold dear that's in your living room or your bedroom or wherever it is that you're practicing. And as you kind of settle into your gaze and into your body, just notice how you're feeling today, physically, mentally, emotionally. Notice if there are any sensations that maybe you're tapping into now that you've taken a moment to be somewhat still and to notice. And then just notice the quality of your breath. What's the texture? What's the cadence? And I want you to remember kind of the sensations that you're experiencing right now in your body and in your breath. And go ahead and open your eyes if you closed them. We'll kind of be taking breaks throughout this class to just track how we're feeling or any changes in our systems as we move along. So to get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to sway our arms from side to side. We're twisting our torso open. And if you find yourself maybe getting a little bit dizzy from this exercise, you can keep your gaze forward. Let your torso just do the twisting. And that double twist can actually feel kind of really nice. Or you can do what dancers call spotting, and you can kind of shift your gaze to each side before you get there. And that just helps prevent, again, any dizziness. And we'll just do this for a little bit longer. Let's do one on each side. And then you can come back to stillness. You can just take a moment here, with the option to close your eyes, or you can keep them open. And just track. See if anything's changed in your breath. See if anything has changed in your physical body. Notice any change in your state. Maybe you were feeling maybe a little anxious beforehand. See if any of that has dissipated. And go ahead and open your eyes if you closed them. We'll move on to our next exercise. You're always welcome to stay with any exercise that we do if it's feeling good for your body. So next we're just going to do some simple heel lifts. So again, just raising my heels. Again, nothing too crazy. And keeping the balls of my feet and my toes glued to my mat. I like imagining that my toes are kind of rooting down into the ground. And I'm noticing that my calves are getting a little bit activated. I'm keeping my pelvic floor soft. And we'll do this for just a little bit longer. 2 more. And then again, go ahead and soften your eyes closed if that feels good for you. And just notice any changes. Is your breath the same? Has your energy shifted? And then again, open your eyes if you close them. So next we're going to find a standing posture. I'm going to find warrior one legs. It will be a shorter warrior one than you might see in a traditional yoga class, so shorter from front to back, and then a little bit wider from side to side. So I'm going to bend into my front leg. I'm going to focus on internally rotating both of my legs. And if you're kind of working on that internal rotation, you might notice some glute activation as well, which is great. All right, so we're going to put my arms out in front of me. I'm going to straighten my front leg. And then as I bend into my front knee, I'm going to push forward with my hands. And then as I straighten my knee, I'm going to pull back my hands. So just almost like you're pushing like a large, maybe like a stalled car or something in front of you. You're moving almost as if you're moving through molasses, creating resistance. And then straighten and come up. Again, focusing on my internal rotators. Coming back up. And then keep pushing forward and coming back up. And we'll just do the other side. This is also a really nice exercise to do against the wall. So again, I'm coming back up. And as I bend my front leg, I'm going to push in front of me. When you do this against the wall, it's really nice because you can have like a feedback mechanism. Again, feel your feet glued to the ground below. Keep breathing. Maybe exhale as you push forward, and inhale as you pull back. All right. Now for our next exercise, we're just gonna start with some light gripping. I'm actually gonna make my way to the back of my mat in preparation for something that we'll do afterward. So all I'm doing is gripping my arms, very simple, up and down. I'm gonna take it down my body. I'm gonna do the same thing on my legs. And the purpose of this, again, is really just to get into our bodies. I also like this as an exercise for like boundary work. So if you're someone who has struggled with boundaries in the past, just kind of getting this sense and this intention as we take these movements of, where do I start and end? And if you like this boundary work, or if this like gripping work, you can keep doing this. If you'd like something that's like a little bit more activating, you can kind of crawl your hands down your body and then crawl yourself into a plank and then crawl yourself back up and crawl your hands back up your body. And then I'm going to crawl myself back down, plank, and back up. And we'll do this a few more times. I really like this exercise, again, if I'm in a state where I feel like I need to be a little bit more activated. Sometimes it's when I'm in more of a sympathetic state and I just feel like I really need to discharge some energy. Sometimes it's if I'm kind of finding myself more in a freeze state and I need to get myself back into like more of a primal place. We'll do a couple more. Something that can feel really good is like you can like play some like really intense rock music and do this if you want to get like really into it. Really kind of create any vibe that you feel like you need at the time. All right, we'll go ahead and find some stillness. Again, close your eyes if that feels good for you. And just notice any change in your state. Notice your breath. Do another body scan, toes all the way to your crown, and just see if anything has changed or shifted. And then open your eyes back up if you close them. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go down to the ground. So we're gonna start in a reverse tabletop. So you can bring your hands behind you with your fingertips pointing near your bum, feet about hip width distance apart. We're just gonna go ahead and start to move forward and back. And again, just notice if anything kind of comes up for you when you're here. If this is too activating, you can always kind of take a break, take a breather, or return to a previous exercise. You can also turn this more into like a hip thrusting exercise, which can be really nice. So lowering and lifting. Or lastly, you can also take this into like a kicking action. So I'm pressing my right heel up, lowering down, pressing my left heel forward, lifting my hips, lowering down. And again, you can make this as slow or as activating as you need. So again, if I'm feeling kind of angry or a little bit more activated, or I need to get more activated, sometimes I'll do this at like a bit of a faster pace. Right now, just kind of want to keep it chill. I'm just pressing my heels forward, again, like they're moving through molasses. Last one. All right, and just find a seat, and again, close your eyes one more time, or soften your gaze, or find that beautiful object that you kind of let your gaze rest on prior. And this last time, just, again, notice any shifts or changes in your physical body. Notice any changes in your state, your energy. Notice any changes in your breath. And go ahead and open your eyes if you close them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next class.